Hello, everyone. I've come across this post on Reddit. It's on the front page of the League of Legends subreddit, and I'm just going to make a video talking about it because I think it's one of the worst posts I've ever seen, but it's getting massively upvoted. And the whole thing just gives I'm silver and I have no idea what I'm talking about energy. So the post is an in-depth look into Riven and why her popularity has been destroyed by commitment to a mechanic you probably don't understand. Now, the mechanic it's talking about is FastQ, and it's really not a complicated mechanic. Let's go through the post bit by bit. She's now at 3% popularity in Emerald Plus and negative win rate, but has no room for buffs. This is fine. Riven's a high skill cap champion. Like, the changes that they just made to Cassante is an example of this. Like, Cassante was a high skill cap champion. He had a low win rate in solo queue, but was completely broken in pro play. Cassante is good in pro play because of his flexibility. Riven's very, very unflexible, so she'll never be played in pro play, regardless of how strong she is individually, outside of, like, very fringe scenarios where it's a really good Riven angle. So, before I dive in more, if anyone doesn't know me, I'll just say what my credentials to talk about this thing are. So, my channel is based around draft analysis and analysis of pro play games. I've done coaching for teams and individual players in solo queue, coaching in amateur leagues. I've also played in amateur leagues, and I'm a master player in EU West. Riven is my most played champion of all time. So, she used to be at 25% popularity. I genuinely cannot remember a time where that was true. Maybe like one day out of, some point in season 3 or something, but I cannot believe that there was ever a time where Riven was in 1 out of 4 games. I think she, like, for the relatively recent future, like season 10, that sort of time, maybe she was around 9%. That seems to ring a bell to me as someone who played a lot of Riven and was always checking her win rates and things like that. I was looking at the stat sites. I think she was around 9-10% when she was, like, very popular. Which is very popular. She's a fun 1v9 carry champion that is seemingly perfect for a popular pick, combining high damage, mobility, button mashing. Again, button mashing, not really the case. It's a very silver way of looking at this champion. A high skill cap and being conventionally attractive with plenty of skins. I mean, this is true. Like, visually, she's a champion that would appeal to a lot of people. So what happened? A large percentage is going to be lots of new flashy champions released since 2015, but that is still post Yasuo and other similar era champions which have kept much better percent played stats. Okay, I mean, this is actually a very, very good point by the author of this post, and this is, like, the truth. This is the truth. Back in the day, if you wanted to carry top laner, you had, like, what? The old Fiora wasn't good. Post Fiora rework, you had Fiora, you had Riven. There was no Gwen, there was no Cassante, there was no Yone, there was no, like, Irelia rework, there was no Akali rework. All of these things are new, and as new things come out, people play less and less of the old stuff. That's just how it works. People got too good at her, and Riot had to start balancing around the best Riven players. This is true. Not a death sentence for sure. Champions like Lee Sin survived this just fine. Yeah, this didn't kill Riven. Riven is not dead. Riven is playable. You just have to be good at her to play her now. What it used to be the case in, like, season 5, and why I had such a high win rate on Riven in old seasons, is that if you were okay at Riven, you would be around 50% win rate. And then if you were, like, really, really good, like, Riven was balanced around you being okay at her. But now she's actually balanced around you understanding her animation cancels and being able to utilize her kit, which takes a lot of time, but she's a difficult champion. That's how it's supposed to be. Think about, like, Gangplank. He's also the same. Think about Fiora. Now, Fiora's kind of riding on the Sundara bandwagon, which is lowering her skill floor a lot, but her skill ceiling's still incredibly high, and you still have to play a lot of games of Fiora to capitalize on her skill set. But this is true. The champ is now balanced around the best Riven players. Or not the best, but it's balanced around Riven players that can play Riven. Good Riven players, let's say. But Riven is too difficult for a reasonable League of Legends champion because of one mechanic, FastQ. This is where the post just gets completely derailed. This point is so silly, I don't even know what to say. So, the FastQ, for starters, is not even the hardest part about Riven. If you don't know what the FastQ is, normally, like, since the dawn of time, Riven, because you get extra damage on your auto attacks whenever you cast a spell, that's her passive, you would auto attack and then Q, and then auto attack and then Q. That's your Q combo, right? The fast Q combo is you auto attack, you Q, and then while you're in your Q animation, you click the ground. So you issue a move command, and that will cancel the animation of your Q. and then you auto-attack again. That's all it is. The only difference is that while you're queuing, you click the ground. So there's 3 extra clicks, and that's it. The only thing you have to do is learn the timing of these clicks. That's it. And it feels really good to do. A load of Riven players like the champion because of how good it feels. It's so rewarding to master. Whenever you try and talk about Riven and removing this mechanic, people start thinking you want to hit animation cancelling, which is absolutely not the case. I mean, that is a form of animation cancelling. If you remove that, you are removing some animation cancelling. I would never suggest that you're saying that the poster of this is saying remove all animation cancels from Riven. Of course not, but why remove FastQ? Yes, it takes some work getting into, and some champions like Nidalee and Silas had them removed. This is absolutely not the problem with Riven. What do you mean? If animation cancel is not the problem, how is FastQ the problem? It's animation cancelling. That's all it is. FastQ. What it means, however, is a massive DPS difference in using Riven's combo intuitively, weaving autos between spells, and using this bug button mashing. It's not button mashing, you just click the ground when you queue. That's it. Around Riven constantly to make her attack quicker. It feels like thousands of gold worth of attack speed. It's so big, the difference. It's not thousands of gold worth of attack speed, it's probably like a dagger and a half. Like in lane phase, you get like a dagger and a half, which obviously is really good. That's like 450 gold, right? But there's no reason not to do it, and it's, you know, it's a skill cap that you can learn. That's a good thing. It's good for the game. You frankly cannot play Riven in a competitive game without doing it. She's balanced around it, and to avoid being stat checked, you have to. Yes. But what silver player that's just getting into Riven is playing a competitive game? You're playing silver solo queue. That's not a competitive game. You should not expect to be able to play the hardest champions in the... You shouldn't expect to be able to pilot Gangplank in silver. You shouldn't expect to be able to pilot Nidalee in silver. You shouldn't expect to be able to pilot Anivia. And so, like, these are not things that you should expect to be able to do. You shouldn't expect to be able to play Callista. These champions are hard. Playing them well is rewarding. You might answer, duh, just get good, practice it. But the thing is, doing this through a game in every single situation, combining with all the other combos, is so hard. Even pro top laners, pros do not consider learning Riven to be worth it. There have been many metas where Riven has been viable and seen pro play, but only a handful of pros will bring her out. This is very... I hate this point, because right now, right, we have The Shy in World Finals. The Shy literally has a Riven combo named after him. He's one of the founding fathers of Riven. He's one of the best Rivens that have ever graced the game. Back in Season 4 era, he just was like the best Riven. It was like The Shy and Faker and Lordmaster King, all these guys on the Korean server just smacking everyone. Is The Shy not playing Riven because he can't fast queue? No, he's not playing Riven because she's terrible in pro play. Why is she terrible in pro play? She's one-dimensional, right? She can only go in. She can only play in an engage comp. You can't play Riven in a poke comp. You can't play Riven in a disengage comp. You play Riven in an engage comp. So already you need your draft to be going towards engage, which you don't always want. Also, you can't blind pick her. She has 2 polarizing matchups in top lane. Like, her matchups are too polarizing. She can't play into like Poppy. She can't play into Renekton. There's so many champions that hard counter in lane. So you have to counter pick. So that means you have to be on red side 99% of the time. So you have to be playing specifically an engage comp on red side. She also only brings physical damage. So you have to be playing an engage comp on red side where you only need physical damage. You have to be able to pilot her, which is what the OP is saying. So a lot of the games where all those things are true, yeah, the top laner hasn't played Riven because they haven't put time into learning her, because she's so niche that you need all these other things to align. And then you need them not to have things that can like you can't play Riven into Lulu. You can't play Riven into Talia's not too bad, but you can't play it into Poppy. Like there's so many, you can't play it into Lissandra. Like there's so many champions that just completely fuck her over. That's why she's not picked in pro play. Whereas you can be prepared, you contrast that to someone like Cassante, who has like a similar kit, a similar high skill expression kit in pro play, but Cassante, you can pick him whenever. His matchups aren't as polarizing. There's like Garen that shits on him, and that's kind of it, but no one's playing Garen. That like Gwen outscales him, but he's fine in the lane. He's way more flexible and way easier to draft, and that's why Riven's not getting played. It's not because her FastQ is too hard for pro players. Every pro player could learn FastQ in a week, easily. In fact, I would say that every player above Emerald could learn FastQ in a week. If you have at least above average mechanical skill, you go into Practice Tool, you practice an hour a day for a week, and you will be able to FastQ. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Like, we have Practice Tool nowadays. It's really not that difficult. Okay. The fix. It was actually fixed for a patch as Riot was testing out removing FastQ before. Riven instantly became way more popular as people could actually access closer to her full strength without months in the practice tool. I remember this. She didn't become that much more popular. She became a lot more powerful in low elo because people were suddenly fast-queuing without being able to fast-queue. But why is that a good thing? That's like saying, oh, what if we make Gangplank Barrel automatically chain no matter what you do, or like the enemies can't hit your Gangplank Barrel because we need him to be better in low elo. Like, why would you do that? He's a high skill expressive champion. You just make Riven like every other champion. No benefit to clicking really quickly behind her between every auto. Why would you want to make every champion the same? Why do we want to homogenize every champion in the game? What do you mean you just make Riven like every other champion? Do you not see why this is a bad thing? Why do we want the champion to be the same as everyone else? It's so silly. But I like this mechanic. Stop making the game too easy. Valid point. No, you don't. This mechanic is done by like 10 people in the world at a consistent level in every game. Riven would keep a high skill cap, just not an obnoxious skill gap, gated by StarCraft level clicking, which leads me to, it isn't fun. It's really not StarCraft level clicking. I'm going to go into Practice Tool and demonstrate it because it's really not that big of a deal. I have cold hands, so I might fuck it up, but yeah, I literally haven't played the game today. So we'll see. But the extent to which OP is over-exaggerating the FastQ in this post is crazy. There are not 10 people in the world that can do this at a consistent level. Like, every Riven main above Diamond does this at a consistent level every game. Every single one of them. Every Riven I play against in solo queue, okay, I play in High Diamond or Master. Every single Riven I play against, I've never seen them fuck up a FastQ. Every single one, they all do it. It isn't fun. To play Riven at a level she's balanced around, you have to click hundreds of times more than a Jax player. I don't know if that's true, you know, because Jax is auto-attacking so often and he's moving between every auto-attack. If you're actually a good player and you're not just right-clicking and you're actually, like, auto-moving or orb-walking or whatever you want to call it, which you should be doing on Jax, he's clicking a lot. He's probably clicking as much, if not more, than Riven when he's in combat. This isn't about game knowledge, kill thresholds, or combos that make, or things that make most difficult champions have a high skill gap. It's just mechanical clicking that 99.9% of Riven mains don't do properly anyway. I mean, this number is too high. Like, how many Riven mains are in Diamond? Probably like, well, 5%? So maybe 95% of them don't do it properly, like perfectly, but I would say that a lot of them do it decently. Why has Riot not changed this already? Community outcry, seriously, mostly by silver Riven mains who think Riot would be removing simple animation cancels like EW. No one is saying removing fast combo is removing EW. We're saying that why remove fast combo? It's a skill expressive thing that has been in the game forever and isn't the thing that's gating Riven from anything. Also, the not a bug it's feature was talking about Riven's ability to... This is irrelevant. Everything about Riven's animation cancels are things that are not a bug but a feature. I put my password in wrong. Ultimately, if you like Riven at all, you should support this, as removing it lets Riot actually buffer to be playable outside of Grandmaster plus one tricks. Riven is playable. I don't know why he's thinking Riven isn't playable. She's literally 51% win rate. And you're in Emerald, and you're telling me she's not playable? How does that work? If we go Grandmaster, yes, she's 56% win rate in Grandmaster. She's a high skill champion. If you go down to Silver, yes, she's 47% win rate in Silver. She's a high skill champion. The average player's Gold. On average, she's like below average win rate because she's not for average players. But once you bump it up a little bit, even in Platinum, you're approaching... Yeah, Platinum's about the same as Gold. I guess Platinum is just Gold now. But you get into Emerald and you're at 50% win rate. Literally 50% win rate. And Emerald is what? Top 10%? So she's balanced around the top 10% of players. I think that's fine for For a skill expressive champion, top 10% of players. Let's jump into practice tool. I'll show you what the FastQ is, just in case you're not sure about it. There's my comment there where I called this a dumb take. But yeah, like, I don't know. Everything about this post. Why am I unknown player? Oh, the server's down. Okay, great. Well, I guess I can't show you the FastQ because the server's down, but I mean, just go on YouTube and look at it. But yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to say. Almost everything in this post is terrible, and I hate it. So yeah, thanks. Goodbye.